Students, let us start today active and passive voice. Active voice. A verb is in the active voice when its form shows that the person or thing denoted by the subject does something or is the doer of action. So, a verb basically reveals that a sentence is in active voice. Okay? A verb basically is in the active voice when the subject performs something or the subject is the doer of that activity or that action. So, let us see the example. We eat rice, where we are doing, we perform something. And what do we perform? We eat rice. So here we are doing what? We are eating rice or we eat rice. Okay? So here the subject we performs action. Performs what kind of action over here? Eat rice. Okay? So we eat rice. Let's see the definition of passive voice. Passive voice. A verb is in the passive voice when its form shows that something is done to the person or thing denoted by the subject. So here a verb, basically a verb is in the passive voice, okay, when it shows that the subject is the receiver of the action. Okay, when the subject is the receiver, basically the receiver of the action. So something is done to the person or thing. So here something is done, okay, to the subject, basically subject. Now see over here, for example, rice is eaten by us. So here we can see eat has turned to is eaten. Okay, by whom? By us. So rice is eaten by us. According to the format, you have to put by, then definitely, of course, by whom? By us. We have turned to us over here. Okay, and has taken the place of the object of the passive voice. But basically, it is the subject of the active voice that has turned to the object of the passive voice, or it is the receiver of the action. Let us see the diagram of active and passive voice. Basically, students, in case of a sentence structure in English language, we have subject at first, then verb, then object. As we can see, in case of active voice or a sentence which will be in the active voice, or sentence whose verb will show that the sentence is in the active voice. So, according to the structure of a sentence in English, at first we are going to have subject, then verb, then object. Now, object of the active voice will turn into the subject of the passive voice. Then verb will remain in its same place, basically the main verb. Then by will be there, okay, and then subject of the active voice will come to the place of the object of the passive voice, or will turn into the object of the passive voice. And as I have told you, students, according to the format, by will be before that. And students, for each and every sentence, we have to keep the tense intact. In case of converting a sentence from active to passive, we have to keep its tense intact. When some words will go from the subject of the active voice to the object of the passive voice, then their forms will be changed. Suppose I will be converted into me, then we will be changed into us. You will only remain you. It is going to remain same, it only. He will be converted into him. She is going to be changed into her. Then they will turn into them. Students, let us look at first into the conversion of sentence from active to passive when the tense will be the simple present tense. Now, in case of the active voice, she writes a letter. Now, when the same sentence is getting changed into passive voice, it is turning to a letter is written by her. Now, look at the format or the rule. She in the active voice is basically the subject. Then writes. Students, basically write is the first form of verb with which s is added over here as she is in third person singular form. So, writes. She writes a letter, where letter is the object. So, subject plus first form of verb plus object. Next, when the same sentence is turning to the passive voice, we are getting what? A letter is written by her. A letter, the object of the active voice, is turning into the subject of the passive voice. Then, according to the format over here, you can see that am or is or are. So, according to the requirement of our subject, is has to be put over here. So, we have put is. Then, past participle form of the verb. So, past participle form of the word write is written. Write is the first form of verb, second form wrote, third form written. So, over here, third form, that is the past participle form, is the word written. Next, we have to put by. Yes, we have done so. Next, the object, which is basically the subject of the active voice. So, subject of the active voice is she, which has turned to her. Okay, according to the rule of conversion, she is getting changed into her when it is turning from the subject of the active voice to the object of the passive voice. Look at some more examples of the simple present tense which are getting converted from active to passive voice. You help me. Now, this one is getting changed into I am helped by you, where me, the object of the active voice, is turning into the subject of the passive voice, or it is going into the place of the subject of the passive voice. Then, according to the rule, with I, definitely am will be used. So, am. Then, help, first form of the verb, is getting changed into the third form of the verb, and that is helped. Help, helped, helped. So, over here helped, past participle form or third form of the verb. Then according to the rule by, then you will not change, so you. Next one, they play matches in the active voice. Now when it is turning into the passive voice, or when this same sentence is getting changed into the passive voice, matches, the object of the active voice is coming into the place of the subject of the passive voice, or this very word is getting changed into the subject of the passive voice. So matches, and with matches students, definitely are will be used, since matches is in plural form, or the word matches is in plural form. Okay, not one match, okay, several matches suppose, so plural form. So are, matches are, then play, first form of the verb is getting changed into the third form of the verb, played. Play is the first form, second form played, and third form is also played. So over here third form of the word play is used, that is played. Then according to the rule by, then they, the subject of the active voice, is turning into the object of the passive voice, and when it is getting changed into the object of the passive voice, they is getting changed into them, or this very word is turning into them. Students, look at some more examples. Number C, active. They do not help me. When it is getting changed into the passive voice, I am not helped by them. Me is coming into the place of subject, which is the object of active voice. So me is turning into I. Then with I, definitely am, according to the rule. Then not will be there. Then help is getting changed into the third form. Means the first form of the verb is getting changed into the third form of the verb, that is helped. Then by, according to the rule. Then they is turning into them. Okay, they, the subject of the active voice, is turning into the object of the passive voice, and when it is getting changed into the object of the passive voice, before this word we have to put by. Okay, and it is turning into them. They is turning into them. Number D, active. Who teaches you English? Passive. By whom are you taught English? So students, when we will write any sentence, or when we will convert any sentence from active to passive, basically in case of interrogative one, means when you are questioning, or when you are writing an interrogative sentence, the rule will be a bit different. See, who is turning into by whom over here. Then according to the rule are, you. Okay, you can put am, is, or are according to the need of the subject. Then here you is there, so definitely are will be there. Then first form of the verb, that is teach. Okay, the main verb, easy word teach, is getting changed into taught. Okay, and here students, actually someone, to someone has been referred. So basically it was guessed that the subject would be in third person singular form. So teaches. Okay, actually the word is teach. Teach, taught, taught. So the third form of the verb, or the past participle form, is taught. So taught is put, then English according to the format. Then question mark. By whom are you taught English? Question mark.